The crystal champagne flute trembles in my hand as I force myself to smile. Around me, the private dining room of Le Petit Jardin sparkles with old money and older grudges. But I'm focused on the birthday card that just shattered my world. The one that says Gold Digger in elegant gold foil script. A toast to our dear Lucille, my mother-in-law Thea announces, rising from her chair like a cobra preparing to strike. Who has brightened our lives these past 5 years. The pause is deliberate, designed to draw blood. I catch Forrest's eye across the table, silently pleading for him to say something, anything. My husband just gives me that helpless half smile I've grown to hate. The one that says, just let mom have her moment, keep the peace. The card sits between us like a landmine. I'd opened it moments ago, thinking it was just another birthday wish. Now my fingers itch to throw it in Thea's perfectly made-up face. Instead, I grip my champagne tighter and maintain my mask. 5 years of marriage have taught me the art of swallowing rage with a smile. To think, Thea continues, swirling her champagne. How far you've come from that little apartment above your mother's flower shop. Why, I remember when Forrest first brought you home. She trails off, letting the implication hang heavy in the air. Graham, my brother-in-law, snickers into his whiskey. His wife shoots me a look of manufactured sympathy that makes my skin crawl. The crystal chandelier catches the light, throwing shadows across faces I once thought would become family. To Lucille, Thea concludes, raising her glass, may you continue to appreciate everything our family has given you. The others echo the toast. I lift my glass mechanically, muscle memory from countless society functions where I've played the grateful daughter-in-law, but something inside me has finally snapped. Actually, I hear myself say, my voice steady despite the thunder of my heartbeat, I'd like to make a toast of my own. Forrest's eyes widen in warning. We don't challenge Thea. That's the unspoken rule that's kept our marriage intact. But I'm done playing by their rules. I stand, smoothing my silk dress, bought with my own money from my thriving business, though they'll never acknowledge that. To family, I say, letting my gaze sweep the table. To those who judge worth by bank accounts instead of character. To birthday cards that say what we're all thinking. I hold up the offensive card. Thea's smile doesn't waver, but her knuckles whiten around her glass. Graham stops snickering. To better tomorrows, I finish softly, and drain my champagne in one swallow. The silence that follows is absolute. Even the waiters hovering at the edges of the room seem to hold their breath. Forrest stares at his plate, like it holds the secrets of the universe. Well, Thea finally says, her voice arctic, I see someone's had a bit too much champagne. Forrest, darling, perhaps you should take your wife home. I'll call the car, Forrest mumbles, already reaching for his phone. Always ready to smooth things over, to pack away the ugly truth behind polite veneers. But as I gather my things, letting him guide me toward the door, with an apologetic hand on my back, I'm already planning. The card burns in my clutch, like a match waiting to start a fire. They think I'm just the gold digger who trapped their golden boy. They have no idea what I'm capable of. I'm sorry about Mom, Forrest whispers, as we wait for the valet. You know how she gets at these things. I turn to look at him, really look at him. And for the first time, I see him clearly. The weak chin he hides behind his carefully trimmed beard. The way he shifts his weight when uncomfortable, like a child expecting punishment. Don't worry about it, I say, patting his arm. My voice is honey sweet, masking the venom underneath. Everything's going to be different now. He relaxes, missing the steel in my words. But as our car pulls up to the curb, I'm already composing a message to Palmer in my head. It's time to remind this family that the flowers they look down on have thorns. My phone buzzes with a text from Thea. I hope you'll be more gracious at next week's charity gala. We all have reputations to maintain. I smile at the screen, thinking of the secrets Palmer hinted at months ago. About Graham's dealings, about the family's carefully hidden past. Of course, I type back. I wouldn't miss it for the world. The bonfire devours my wedding photos, curling their edges into ash. I watch Forrest's smiling face blacken and disappear into the flames, remembering how young we both looked, how naive I was, thinking love could bridge the chasm between our worlds. You shouldn't be burning things alone at midnight, Forrest calls from the patio door. The neighbors will talk. I don't turn around. Heaven forbid we give your mother more ammunition. He sighs, that familiar sound of resignation that used to make me try harder to please him. Now it just feeds the anger simmering in my chest. The fire pops and crackles, sending sparks dancing into the night sky. About tonight, he starts, moving closer. Mom was out of line with that card. I'll talk to her. Like you talked to her about the welcome to the family dinner where she served food I was allergic to. I toss another photo into the flames. Or when she told everyone at the country club I was pregnant, knowing we'd been struggling to conceive. Lucy, please, don't call me that. I whirl to face him. Your mother uses that name when she's trying to make me sound young and stupid. I'm Lucille. The firelight catches the confusion on his face. Even now he doesn't see it, doesn't understand how every slight, every calculated insult has been slowly killing the woman he married. I just want peace, he says softly. Is that so wrong? Peace, I laugh, the sound sharp enough to make him flinch. You want me to keep swallowing poison with a smile. That's not peace, Forrest. That's surrender. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Probably Ivy checking on me after my cryptic text earlier. Instead, I see Palmer's name on the screen. My heart kicks against my ribs as I remember our last conversation, the hints he dropped about Graham's business dealings. I need some time alone, I tell Forrest, already moving toward the house. Don't wait up. He doesn't try to stop me. He never does. In my home office, I lock the door and dial Palmer's number. Each ring stretches my nerves tighter until... I was wondering when you'd call. Palmer's voice is smooth as aged whiskey. Heard about the birthday dinner. Thea always did have a flair for cruelty. You worked for them for 20 years, I say, sinking into my chair. You must have seen it all. More than they realize. There's a pause, the sound of ice clinking against glass. But information isn't free, Lucille. What exactly are you looking for? I think of the gold digger card, of Thea's smirking toast, of Forrest's endless excuses. Everything, every skeleton, every dirty secret, every weakness. I want to know what makes them afraid. Dangerous territory, but I hear the interest in his voice. Graham's been asking about you, you know, wondering if you've seen certain documents. My pulse quickens. What documents? Meet me tomorrow at the Blue Room, noon, come alone. The line goes dead. I sit in the darkness, my mind racing. Graham's been watching me. The same Graham who laughed at Thea's jokes about my background, who tried to convince Forrest I was after the family fortune. My phone buzzes again. Ivy this time. Her message makes my blood freeze. Need to talk. Found something in the business accounts. Something bad. The cursor blinks as I try to respond. Ivy and I built our consulting firm from nothing, proving everyone wrong about those silly girls playing at business. She's my best friend, my partner, my anchor when the Addams family storms get rough. But what she found, could it be connected to what Palmer knows? To Graham's sudden interest? A soft knock at my door makes me jump. Lucille, Forrest's voice is muffled. Mom called. She wants to apologize, says she has a peace offering. I stare at my reflection in the dark window, seeing the ghost of that hopeful bride from the burning photos. The woman who thought she could earn their respect, their love. What a fool she was. Tell her I'll think about it, I call back, already knowing my answer. But Thea's peace offerings always come with strings, and I need her to think I'm still dancing to her tune. I text Ivy back, meeting tomorrow, don't show anyone what you found. Then I open my laptop and pull up the file I've been building for months, the one labeled Family History. Palmer's not the only one who's been collecting secrets. Tomorrow I'll start pulling threads, and this carefully constructed facade of family loyalty will unravel one strand at a time. My phone lights up with Thea's number. I let it ring, watching the flames through my window as they consume the last of my wedding photos. Autumn leaves skitter across the pavement as I wait for Ivy outside our office. The morning air bites at my cheeks, but the chill isn't what's making me shiver. Palmer's revelations at the Blue Room still echo in my head, making my carefully laid plans feel suddenly fragile. "You look like you've seen a ghost," Ivy says, appearing beside me with 2 coffee cups. She hands me one, studying my face with the focused concern that's gotten me through countless crises. Spill. I glance around the empty street. Not here, inside. In our office, surrounded by the business we built together, I should feel safer. Instead, the familiar space feels exposed. I check my phone. 3 missed calls from Forrest, 1 text from Palmer. Graham's moving faster than expected. Watch your back. Okay. Ivy sets down her coffee. What did you find in the accounts that scared you? It's not what I found. I pull out the USB drive Palmer gave me. It's what Graham's been hiding. The family's been laundering money through shell companies, Ivy. And some of those transactions, I swallow hard. They've been running through our firm. Her face goes pale. That's impossible. I check every client, every transaction. Graham's good at hiding things. I plug in the drive, pulling up documents that make my stomach turn. He's been using our reputation as cover. That's why he pushed so hard to get us that contract with Adams Industries. Son of a bitch. Ivy's hands shake as she scrolls through the evidence. This could destroy everything we've built. Why didn't you tell me sooner? The hurt in her voice cuts deep. I needed proof first, and I hesitate. I needed to know you weren't involved. She recoils like I've slapped her. You thought I might be working with them. Thea's been getting to everyone lately, making offers, dropping hints about expanding the business. The words taste bitter. I didn't know who to trust. You should have trusted me. Ivy stands, pacing our small conference room. We built this company on transparency, Lucille, on being better than the corporate sharks who tried to eat us alive. I know. Guilt mingles with the anger that's been my constant companion. But this is my chance to finally fight back, to show them they can't. This isn't just about your vendetta anymore. Ivy spins to face me. This is our company, our employees' livelihoods. What happens to them when this blows up? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. Graham's name flashes on the screen. Don't, Ivy warns, but I'm already answering. Hello, sister dear. His voice oozes false warmth. We missed you at breakfast this morning. Mother was quite concerned. I'm sure she was. I keep my voice neutral, meeting Ivy's worried gaze. I've been busy with work. Yes, work. He chuckles. Funny thing about that, I was just reviewing some contracts and noticed some irregularities. Perhaps we should discuss them over dinner. My heart pounds, but years of dealing with Thea have taught me to keep my voice steady. Actually, I'm meeting Palmer for dinner. He's been quite helpful lately. The silence that follows tells me the shot landed. Palmer, Graham finally says, all pretense of warmth gone. I wouldn't trust everything our former CFO says. He left the company under complicated circumstances. Didn't we all? I hang up before he can respond. Ivy grabs my arm. Palmer, the same Palmer who was fired for embezzlement accusations 3 years ago. The accusations were false. I pull away. Graham set him up because Palmer knew too much, just like they're trying to set us up now. Or he's playing you. Ivy's voice softens. Lucille, I know you want justice, but Palmer's not exactly a reliable ally. She's right, and that terrifies me. But the weight of the gold digger card, of every dismissive look and cutting remark, presses down on my chest. I have to do something. Ivy corrects, squeezing my hand. We have to do something, but we do it smart, and we do it clean. No more secrets between us. I nod, throat tight with emotion I can't afford right now. My phone buzzes again. A text from Palmer. Graham's called an emergency board meeting. Tomorrow morning. What do we do? I whisper, hating how vulnerable I sound. Ivy's jaw sets in that familiar way that means she's shifting into battle mode. First, we protect our people. Then, she pulls up our client list. We start digging. If Graham's been using our firm, there have to be traces. I watch her work, feeling the ground shift under my feet. This isn't just about my revenge anymore. It's about protecting what we've built, what we've earned. And suddenly, I'm terrified that in my quest to destroy the Addams family, I might destroy everything else I love too. My phone lights up with another text, from Thea this time. Family dinner tonight, non-negotiable. We need to discuss your future with the company. The threat isn't even subtle anymore. The bar's dim lighting can't hide Graham's smirk as he slides into the booth across from me. My fingers tighten around my glass, but I keep my face neutral. 5 hours until Thea's mandatory family dinner, and here I am playing chess with her favorite snake. I have to admit, Graham says, loosening his tie, I didn't expect you to suggest meeting. Finally ready to be reasonable. Reasonable? Ice cubes clink as I set down my drink. Like how you were reasonable when you funneled money through my company. His smirk doesn't waver, but something flickers in his eyes. Careful, Lucille. Accusations like that could be problematic, especially coming from someone with your background. My background. I lean forward. You mean the one where I built a successful business while you rode Daddy's coattails? That hits home. Graham's mask slips for a moment, revealing the rage beneath. You really want to play this game? Because I can make one phone call and your precious company will what? I pull out my phone, sliding it across the table. On the screen is an email from Palmer, containing documents that make Graham's face go pale. Interesting reading, isn't it? Amazing what people keep in their private servers. Palmer, he spits the name like poison. That drunk couldn't find the proof that you set him up, that you've been embezzling for years. I smile, channeling Thea's Arctic sweetness. He did, and now I have it too. Graham's hand shoots across the table, grabbing my wrist. You have no idea what you're dealing with. This isn't just about money. Let go. Each word is ice. Everything okay here? We both look up to see Ivy standing at our table, her expression deadly calm. Graham releases my wrist, adjusting his cuffs with forced casualness. Just a family discussion, he says smoothly. Nothing to worry about. Really? Ivy slides into the booth next to me, because it looked like assault to me, and I'm sure the security cameras would agree. My wrist throbs where he grabbed me, but the pain is worth it to see him squirm. We're done here, I tell him. See you at dinner. He stands, straightening his jacket. Think carefully about your next move, Lucille. Some games you can't win. After he leaves, Ivy examines my wrist. That's going to bruise. We should file a report. No. I pull my sleeve down. Not yet. I need him scared, but not desperate. What he said about it not being just about money. Ivy hesitates. I found something else, about your mother's flower shop. My heart stops. What about it? She pulls out her tablet, showing me property records from 5 years ago. The fire that destroyed it, it wasn't an accident. The insurance investigator was paid off by Addams Industries. The world tilts sideways. That fire had destroyed everything my mother built. She died 6 months later, they said, from pneumonia. But I'd always known it was heartbreak. My voice cracks. They knew I was dating Forrest. They knew what that shop meant to us. There's more. Ivy's voice is gentle. The property was bought through a shell company, one registered to Thea. The truth hits like a physical blow. They hadn't just looked down on my background. They'd actively destroyed it. Created the very circumstances they now sneered at. My phone buzzes. Palmer, don't go to dinner. Thea knows about our meetings. Another text follows immediately. But if you do go, check behind the painting in the dining room. The one of their father. Trust me. I have to go to that dinner, I tell Ivy, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. It's a trap. She grabs my hand. Graham's warning, Palmer's message, they're closing in. We need to be smart about this. I am being smart. I squeeze her hand back. I'm going to sit at that table and smile and let them think they've won. And then I think of my mother's shop, of the dreams that went up in smoke, of every condescending comment about my humble beginnings, from the people who engineered my family's destruction. Then I'm going to burn their world down. I stand, gathering my things. But first, I need you to do something for me. Anything. Get me everything you can on Thea's first marriage, the one no one talks about. Ivy's eyes widen. How did you? Palmer mentioned it, said there's a reason she changed her name back to Adams so quickly. I check my watch. 3 hours until dinner. I'm betting that reason is worth knowing. As I leave the bar, my phone lights up with a text from Forrest. Mom's worried about you. Please don't make things difficult tonight. I almost laugh. Difficult doesn't begin to cover what tonight will be. Behind the painting, Palmer said, whatever's there, it's time to find out exactly what kind of family I married into. Rain drums against my windshield as I sit in the Adams estate driveway, watching shadows move behind the dining room curtains. The painting Palmer mentioned feels like a bomb waiting to detonate. My phone buzzes with Ivy's latest update. Records show Thea's first husband died under suspicious circumstances. Insurance payout was massive. I close my eyes, remembering my mother's voice. Sometimes the price of revenge is your own peace, Lucy. But I lost my peace the day they burned down her shop. The front door opens before I reach it, revealing Thea in a perfectly tailored black dress. Darling, she says, air-kissing my cheek. We were beginning to worry. The house smells like roses, her signature touch. Every surface gleams with old money and careful curation, including me, I realize. The perfect daughter-in-law acquisition. Sorry I'm late, I say, letting her take my coat. Work emergency. Yes, we heard about the irregularities Graham discovered. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Such a shame when these things happen. In the dining room, Forrest stands by the fireplace, drink in hand. The painting looms above him, their father stern and watchful even in oils. What secrets are you hiding? Lucille. Forrest moves to kiss me, but I turn my head so his lips catch my cheek. His aftershave can't quite mask the whiskey on his breath. Where's Graham? I ask, noting the empty place setting. Emergency board meeting. Thea gestures for me to sit. Just the three of us tonight. More intimate that way. My phone vibrates in my clutch. Probably Ivy with more dirt on Thea's past. But before I can check, Thea speaks again. I think it's time we had an honest conversation. She pours wine with practiced grace. About your future with this family. My future? I take a careful sip. I wasn't aware that was in question. Everything's in question lately, dear. Her voice hardens slightly. Your meetings with Palmer, your investigation into family matters, even your company's stability. Forrest shifts uncomfortably. Mom, maybe we should be quiet, darling. Thea doesn't even look at him. The grown-ups are talking. The dismissal hits him like a slap, and suddenly I see him clearly. Not just the weak husband, but the damaged son. How many times had Thea silenced him like this? I have a proposition, Thea continues, one that could solve everyone's problems. Sign over controlling interest in your company to Graham. In exchange, certain indiscretions will be forgotten. My laugh surprises even me. You really don't know me at all, do you? I know you're smart enough to recognize when you're beaten. She slides a folder across the table. These documents show your company's involvement in money laundering. Sign now, or they go to the SEC tomorrow. Mom. Forrest stands, swaying slightly. You can't. I said, be quiet. For the first time, Thea's mask cracks. In that moment, I see what Palmer warned me about. Something dangerous and desperate behind her perfect facade. I stand slowly, moving toward the painting. Before I answer, I have a question. What was your first husband's name? The one who died so conveniently? The color drains from her face. Behind the painting, I feel it, a slight bulge in the wallpaper. Don't. Her voice shakes, but I'm already pulling the painting aside, finding the small wall safe behind it. Interesting place for a hidden safe. What's inside? Insurance papers, evidence. Lucille. Forrest's voice is strangled. What are you doing? Showing your mother I'm not the only one with secrets. I turn to Thea. Palmer told me about the combination. Your first wedding date. Should I try it? She moves faster than I expect, grabbing my arm. Her nails dig into the same spot Graham bruised earlier. You have no idea what you're playing with. Neither do you. I wrench free. Think I didn't make copies of everything Palmer gave me. One phone call, and it all goes public. The money laundering, the insurance fraud, maybe even a decades-old murder. You wouldn't dare. But fear has replaced the confidence in her eyes. Try me. I move toward the door, my heart thundering. Keep your proposition. And remember, I'm not the naive girl you can bully anymore. Lucille, wait. Forrest steps toward me, but stops when I raise my hand. Choose carefully whose side you're on, I tell him. Things are about to get very uncomfortable for this family. Outside, the rain has stopped. My phone shows 3 messages from Ivy, but it's Palmer's that makes my blood freeze. Graham found my copies. They're coming for you next. I start my car, hands shaking. I've just declared war on one of the city's most powerful families. But as I drive away from the estate, I realize there's no turning back now. The safe's contents will have to wait. Right now, I need to survive the night. The boardroom clock ticks like a countdown as I stare at the contract in front of me. Thea sits across the mahogany expanse, immaculate as always, but there's a new tension in her shoulders. We both know what's at stake. It's a generous offer, she says, sliding an elegant pen toward me. Full immunity for you and Ivy. A clean break from the company. More money than your mother's shop ever made. My throat tightens at the deliberate mention of Mom. Through the wall-length windows, the city sprawls below us, oblivious to the war being waged in this sterile room. And all I have to do is sign away everything I've built. I trace the contract's edge. Pretend I never found the evidence. Walk away alive, she corrects softly. Palmer's disappearance should tell you how serious this is. Ice slides down my spine. Palmer hasn't answered calls or texts for 2 days. His apartment was empty when Ivy checked this morning. Where is he? Safe. For now. Thea adjusts her pearls. A tell I've learned means she's lying. But his future, like yours, depends on the next few minutes. My phone buzzes. Ivy. Don't sign anything. Found the smoking gun. Coming up now. Think of Forrest. Thea continues, mistaking my hesitation for weakness. This could destroy him. Is revenge worth losing your marriage? My marriage. I laugh bitterly. You destroyed that the moment you decided I wasn't good enough for your precious family. No, dear. Her smile turns predatory. You destroyed it when you chose Palmer over loyalty. When you started digging into things, better left buried. The boardroom door opens. Graham enters, followed by 2 men in dark suits. My heart stutters as I recognize them. The same insurance investigators who ruled Mom's fire an accident. Time's up, Graham announces. What's it going to be, Lucille? I reach for the pen, watching hope bloom in Thea's eyes. The same hope I saw when I first married Forrest. When she thought she could mold me into her perfect society daughter. The door bursts open again. Ivy rushes in, clutching a laptop, with Forrest close behind. His face is ashen. Don't, he says. Lucille, don't sign. I found the real files. Thea stands so quickly, her chair slams back. Forrest, you're drunk. Go home. I'm sober for the first time in years. His voice shakes. I found Dad's old records. About the first merger. About what really happened to Thea's first husband. Careful, little brother, Graham warns. But there's fear beneath the threat. Ivy sets her laptop on the table, turning it toward me. The insurance payout from my mom's shop, I say, scanning the documents. It didn't go to Adams Industries. It went to a private account. Your account, Thea. You needed motivation, she snaps, to understand your place, to appreciate what marrying into this family meant. By burning down everything I loved, my voice cracks. By killing my mother, she was holding you back. Thea's composure finally shatters. just like Richard held me back with his morals and his questions about the company's finances. Sometimes sacrifices must be made for the greater good. The room goes silent. Even Graham looks shocked at her admission. Richard, I say slowly, your first husband, the one who died in a house fire. Forrest makes a strangled sound. Mom, what did you do? What I had to. She straightens, mask sliding back into place. What I'll do again if necessary. Sign the contract, Lucille. End this now. I pick up the pen, feeling its weight. Everything I've worked for, everything I've discovered, balanced on this moment. You're right, I tell her. This ends now. Instead of signing, I pull out my phone and press play. Thea's voice fills the room. Sometimes sacrifices must be made. That's being live-streamed to the SEC, Ivy says calmly, along with all the evidence we've gathered. Every transaction, every cover-up, every murder. Graham lunges for the laptop, but Forrest blocks him. For once, the younger brother stands his ground. It's over, Mom, he says quietly. Thea's face contorts with fury. You stupid girl, you have no idea what you've done. I know exactly what I've done. I stand, gathering my things. I've burned down everything you love, just like you taught me. The elevator doors are closing. When I hear the commotion start, raised voices, running feet, the beginning of an empire's collapse. My phone lights up with a message from an unknown number. Well done. Meet me at the usual place. P. Palmer, alive. But can I trust him? After everything, can I trust anyone? The elevator descends, carrying me away from the wreckage. But somehow I know this isn't over. Thea's final words echo in my head. I have no idea what I've done. Maybe she's right, but I'm about to find out. The charity gala glitters around me like broken glass. Beautiful, dangerous, sharp enough to draw blood. From my position near the grand staircase, I watch Thea work the crowd. Even with her world crumbling, she plays the gracious hostess perfectly. Only I notice how her hands shake when she lifts her champagne. Security's in position, Ivy murmurs through my earpiece. Palmer's signal coming from the third-floor study. I adjust my evening gown, midnight blue, like the one Mom wore to my wedding. Any sign of Graham? Not yet, but Forrest just arrived. He looks determined. My heart twists. After the boardroom revelation, he'd disappeared for 3 days. His last text still burns in my mind. I need to make this right. I start up the stairs, nodding to familiar faces. They smile back, unaware that in 15 minutes, federal agents will swarm this building, unaware that their carefully curated society is about to implode. The third floor is darker, quieter. Classical music drifts up from below as I approach the study. The door is ajar, lamplight spilling into the hallway. Palmer sits at the massive desk, looking remarkably alive for a supposedly missing person. Right on time, he says, without looking up. Close the door. I do, noting the fresh bruises on his face. You're working with them. Smart girl. He finally meets my eyes. Had to make a choice when Graham found me. Die for your revenge, or live for something bigger. Bigger? My laugh sounds hollow. Like what? Like taking down not just the Addams family, but everyone they protect. He turns the laptop toward me. Their network runs deeper than you know. Judges, politicians, police chiefs. And you're helping them cover it up. I'm helping them think they're covering it up. His smile is razor sharp, while actually gathering evidence against everyone involved. The FBI has been building this case for years. The floor seems to tilt beneath my feet. You're an informant. Since before you married Forrest. Why do you think I helped you? Your mother's shop wasn't the first business they burned down, just the latest in a long pattern. Footsteps in the hallway make us both freeze. The door opens, revealing Thea. She's still smiling, but her eyes are wild. I should have known, she says, closing the door behind her. The prodigal son returns, and with such perfect timing. More footsteps. Graham appears from the connecting room, gun steady in his hand. Found these in Palmer's briefcase, he says, tossing a stack of files onto the desk. Seems our friend's been very busy. It's over, Thea. Palmer says calmly. Federal agents are currently being detained by private security. Her smile widens. Did you really think I wouldn't have contingencies? That I haven't survived worse threats than you? Mom. Forrest's voice makes us all turn. He stands in the doorway, face pale but resolute. Drop the act. I sent them everything. Everything? She whispers. Dad's real cause of death, Richard's insurance papers, the offshore accounts. He steps into the room. I found your private files. The ones you kept in the lake house safe. Graham's gun wavers. What files? Ask her, Forrest says. Ask her what really happened to Dad when he threatened to expose the corruption. The moment stretches like a wire about to snap. I see it in Thea's eyes. The realization that her perfect world is finally irrevocably shattering. You ungrateful, she lunges for Graham's gun. Everything happens at once. The gun goes off, shattering a window. Palmer tackles Graham. Forrest grabs his mother. And I see my chance. I grab the files, sprinting for the door. Behind me, Thea breaks free, screaming my name. But I'm already running down the stairs, through the startled crowd, the evidence clutched to my chest like a lifeline. Ivy meets me at the bottom, already dialing. FBI's 2 minutes out. Local police are... Look out! Thea reaches me just as I hit the main floor. Her fingers tangle in my hair, pulling me back. We struggle in front of everyone. The perfect society matron, finally showing her true face. I made you, she hisses in my ear. I could have destroyed you. No, I gasp, breaking free. You tried to destroy me, but you forgot something. What's that? I straighten, facing her in front of her carefully cultivated audience. I'm my mother's daughter, and she taught me that flowers grow back stronger after a fire. The doors burst open. Federal agents flood in, weapons drawn. Graham and Palmer stumble down the stairs, both bloody. Forrest follows, carrying his father's private ledger. As they lead Thea away in handcuffs, she keeps her head high, but her perfect mask has cracked, revealing the darkness beneath. Forrest touches my shoulder gently. I'm sorry, he whispers, for everything. I watch Thea disappear into a federal vehicle, remembering the gold digger card that started it all. So am I. The night air carries the scent of rain and justice. And somewhere, I swear I can smell Mom's roses blooming again. Sunrise paints the city gold as I unlock the doors of my new office building. The brass nameplate catches the light. Nichols and Bradley Consulting. No more Adam's name casting shadows over everything we've built. You're here early, Ivy says, appearing behind me with coffee and a stack of newspapers. The headlines scream about the Adams family's downfall, each more sensational than the last. Couldn't sleep? I take my coffee, breathing in the familiar scent. Keep thinking about what Thea said at her sentencing. You mean the part where she blamed you for destroying her legacy? Ivy snorts. Or the part where she swore she'd rebuild everything from prison? The part where she said I was just like her. I lead the way to our top floor office, where floor-to-ceiling windows offer a view of the city awakening. Ruthless, willing to burn it all down. Hey, Ivy grabs my arm. You're nothing like her. She destroyed lives for power. You exposed the truth for justice. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Forrest's name makes my heart stutter, but I answer anyway. I'm at the shop, he says, without preamble. Mom's old accountant called. Said there's something I need to see. I close my eyes. The shop, my mother's flower shop. The lot has stood empty since the fire, a grave for dead dreams. I'll be there in 20. Ivy squeezes my shoulder as I gather my things. Want backup? No. I manage a smile. Some ghosts I need to face alone. The lot looks smaller than I remember. Forrest stands by his car, holding a weathered leather portfolio. He's lost weight since the trial, but his eyes are clearer than they've been in years. The accountant found this in an old storage unit, he says, handing me the portfolio. You should see for yourself. Inside are property deeds, insurance papers, and photographs. My hands shake as I recognize my mother's handwriting on a letter dated just before the fire. "My dearest Lucy," I read aloud. "If you're reading this, then my suspicions about Thea Adams were correct. I've gathered evidence of their illegal dealings for months. The fire wasn't an accident. It was a warning. But I made copies of everything. Check the rose bushes by the back fence. I love you. Never let them make you doubt your worth." "There's more," Forrest says quietly. "The accountant says she was working with federal investigators. She was building a case against my family when your mother had her killed." The words taste like ashes. "I'm so sorry, Lucille." His voice cracks. "I know it doesn't change anything, but I'm selling everything. The house, the company holdings, all of it. Using the money to set up a foundation in your mother's name." I trace my mother's signature, feeling the indentations her pen left in the paper. She knew. She was fighting back all along. "Like mother, like daughter." He attempts a smile. "The rose bushes survived, you know. They're still there, growing through the concrete." I walk to the back of the lot, where, sure enough, wild roses push through cracks in the pavement. Their scent fills the air. Mom's favorite variety, the ones she said were too stubborn to die. Kneeling, I dig carefully around the largest bush. My fingers hit something solid, a rusted metal box. Inside, perfectly preserved, are more documents, more evidence, more truth. She didn't just leave me her fight, I realize standing. She left me her strength. What will you do with it? I think of Thea in her prison cell, of Graham facing federal charges, of all the corrupt networks still hiding in plain sight. I'm going to finish what she started. I pull out my phone, dialing Palmer's number at the FBI task force. But this time, we're doing it right. No more shadows, no more secrets. "We?" Forrest asks. "Me and Ivy. The foundation, if you're serious about it. Anyone else who's tired of powerful people burning down dreams." He nods slowly. "Count me in. It's time I grew my own roses instead of poisoning everyone else's." Back at the office, Ivy's already working on expansion plans. "Ready to build something new?" she asks. I place my mother's box on the desk, next to the gold digger card I kept as a reminder. "No," I say, tearing the card in half. "Ready to rebuild something that never should have been destroyed." Through the windows, the morning sun illuminates the city, like truth breaking through lies. Somewhere out there, Thea sits in her cell, plotting her revenge. Let her try. She taught me how to burn things down, but my mother taught me something better. She taught me how to rise from the ashes.